Look like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous 22 number to a new one.
Guys, you are not going to believe this one. Sue Bird, a legend in her own right, just had a full-blown public meltdown that absolutely nobody saw coming. And it's all because Caitlin Clark has allegedly drawn a line in the sand with Team USA, telling them she is completely done if they refuse to let her wear her iconic number. Sue's reaction to this ultimatum has sent shockwaves through the entire basketball world, leaving everyone absolutely stunned. The managing director of Team USA is now reportedly scrambling behind the scenes, desperately trying to control the damage from a self-inflicted wound, but the situation is spiraling out of control faster than anyone can keep up. This isn't just some minor disagreement. This might just be the single biggest crisis that women's basketball has faced in modern history. So, before we dive deep into Sue Bird's frantic reaction and get into the specifics of what Caitlin allegedly told the organization behind closed doors, I need you to tell me something in the comments right now. If you were in Caitlin's shoes, would you be willing to quit Team USA over a jersey number? Let me know, because what is unfolding at this very moment could fundamentally change the entire future of USA basketball as we know it forever.
Because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA, and not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article has come out.
All right, let's get straight to it. Team USA basketball has single-handedly created the most explosive crisis in women's basketball, and what's so wild is they have nobody to blame but themselves. In a move that still makes no sense, they tried to force Caitlin Clark, the undisputed, unquestioned face of the entire sport right now, to give up her iconic number 22 for their upcoming December training camp. And according to sources who are incredibly close to the situation, Caitlin's response was as direct as one of her logo threes. If I can't wear my number, then I'm not showing up. Period. Now, as a result, Sue Bird, the managing director for Team USA, is reportedly losing her mind, frantically trying to figure out how this preventable situation spiraled so catastrophically out of control. Let's be absolutely crystal clear about something here. This is not just a simple administrative decision about a number. This is being viewed across the entire sports world as a blatant, calculated, and frankly shocking act of disrespect toward the very superstar who has single-handedly brought millions upon millions of new fans to women's basketball. We are literally talking about the one player whose name is currently bigger than the sport itself, being told that her most recognizable symbol, her brand identity, must be left behind. It's an unbelievable move that has fans, analysts, and a big in between seriously questioning whether Team USA even remotely understands the cultural phenomenon they have in Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a very creative person. I was born on January 22nd, so it's what I went with when I was about 5 years old, so.
This absolute bombshell dropped just days ahead of Team USA's critical training camp in North Carolina, which was scheduled to run from December 12th through the 14th. You have to understand, this camp was supposed to be a massive celebration of the sport. It was meant to be a showcase of the absolute best talent the world has to offer, featuring a star-studded lineup with names like Paige Bueckers, Juju Watkins, and many others. Instead of celebration, it instantly became the center stage for this unprecedented and, to be honest, completely bizarre controversy that could very well result in the biggest name in all of basketball refusing to even participate. Reports began to surface, revealing this shocking mandate from on high that would effectively strip Clark of the number that has become completely synonymous with her entire record-shattering college career and her world-beating performances in the WNBA. The timing of this decision is what makes it even more baffling and honestly suspicious. It comes at the exact moment her fame is exploding on a global scale, a meteoric rise that only amplifies the intense outrage being felt by her millions of dedicated and rapidly growing supporters. And you better believe it, right now, those supporters are flooding social media, encouraging Caitlin to stand her ground and absolutely refuse to compromise on something so fundamental to her brand and her identity.
The case to be made that Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. There is no argument to be made. There's no case to be made. Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number for any woman athlete in the world.
Let's make absolutely no mistake about this. Caitlin Clark's number 22 is not just some random jersey number she was assigned. It is, without a single shred of doubt, the single most recognizable and iconic number in all of women's sports right now. Period. End of discussion. There is no legitimate debate to be had, and there is no valid argument that can possibly be made against this undeniable fact. From her mind-blowing, logic-defying performances at the University of Iowa, to her explosive, highlight reel WNBA career with the Indiana Fever, the number 22 has become a completely inseparable core part of her identity. It's a beacon of hope for young players, a symbol that fans can instantly recognize from the nosebleed seats in sold-out arenas and on television screens all around the globe. To the millions and millions of people who follow her every move, it's not just some digits on a jersey, it's a legacy that is being built and cemented in real time, right before our very eyes. Her entire brand, the compelling narrative of her incredible journey from college phenom to global superstar, is all intrinsically and powerfully linked to that one number. It embodies the audacious, long-range three-pointers that leave crowds breathless, the almost psychic court vision that picks defenses apart, and the sheer, unyielding will to win that has captivated a massive new audience, stretching far beyond the traditional basketball fan base.
Clark to wear number 17 at Team USA training camp. On December 24th, news broke that Caitlin Clark will be taking a part in the training, which that's what we talked about at the beginning of the video. Now, this right here this came out this came out on the 24th. So these are the numbers, man. So head on over to Twitter and check this out real quick. So this is what was released right here. It says Lauren Betts. Hold on, here's the ages. Where's the number? Here we go, right here. So these are the numbers. Caitlin Clark. Let me blow this all the way up, man. I want to blow this all the way up so y'all can see this. So as y'all can see here, man, how did Caitlin Clark number will be changed? So who's wearing 22? Or if you guys remember, Michael Jordan wore number 45 in the Olympics. Could Caitlin, because it don't look like no one's wearing number 22. It don't look like
no one else is wearing number 22. She has quite literally become synonymous with the number 22 in the exact same way that Michael Jordan is forever linked with 23, or Wayne Gretzky with 9. To demand a change at this pivotal point in her career feels like a deliberate, almost malicious attempt to dilute that incredibly powerful connection she's built. A perplexing and head-scratching move that leaves everyone wondering what the motivation could possibly be. Unless, of course, the motivation is exactly what it looks like on the surface, asserting organizational control over a player who has undeniably become bigger than the organization itself. And here's what makes this even more infuriating for Caitlin's fans. This isn't the first time that USA Basketball has seemingly undervalued her unprecedented influence on the game. Remember earlier this year when she was conspicuously, almost shockingly, snubbed from the Olympic roster? That glaring omission baffled onlookers, especially given her undeniable global appeal and the massive television viewership numbers she consistently commands. This emerging pattern of either overlooking or actively undermining her rising star status continues to fuel intense speculation that there's a deeper, more complicated agenda at play, perhaps a resistance within the old guard of the organization to fully embracing the revolutionary game-changer that she so clearly represents. Because when you look at the facts, none of this makes any logical sense unless you consider that Team USA might actually be threatened by just how powerful Caitlin has become. So what number were they trying to force her to wear? The official word is that Caitlin Clark would be wearing number 17 for the upcoming USA training camp. 17. Now, while it's just an arbitrary number on its own, its real significance lies in the simple fact that it is absolutely not numbered. This forced alteration, especially when you consider the immense brand recognition she brings to the table, sparks a whole array of questions. You have to ask, is this a deliberate attempt by the organization to assert its control to show who's boss? Or is it simply a tone-deaf, out-of-touch decision that completely fails to grasp the cultural impact of her established brand? Either way you slice it, the message being sent to Clark feels uncomfortably clear. we're in charge, and your popularity doesn't give you special treatment. And according to insiders, Caitlyn's response was essentially, then I don't need to be here. What makes this entire situation even more infuriating for her supporters is the stunning revelation that no one, and I mean absolutely no one, on the USA basketball training camp roster will be wearing number 22. Let that sink in for a second. It's not like the number was already claimed by a long-standing veteran player or a highly respected star with an unbreakable claim to it. The number is simply being left empty, unused, and available. This single detail completely transforms the incident from a potential roster conflict into what feels like an overt, undeniable act of perceived marginalization against the most impactful and popular player of her generation. If nobody else is wearing the number, why force Caitlyn to change? The logic just doesn't exist. The justification completely falls apart, and that's exactly why Caitlyn allegedly drew her line in the sand. And now, Sue Bird is the one dealing with the massive consequences of this decision. As the managing director of Team USA Basketball, Sue is responsible for building the program's future. She hand-picked players for this camp. She's supposed to be cultivating the next generation of American basketball dominance. But instead, she's trapped in a crisis entirely of Team USA's own making, because forcing your biggest star to compromise on something so fundamental to her identity was always going to blow up in their faces. Sue Bird's reported reaction has been described as everything from frustrated to outright panic. Sources suggest she's been working overtime behind the scenes, desperately trying to find a solution that keeps Caitlyn in the fold, while also not completely undermining whatever arbitrary policy led to this disaster in the first place. But here's the fundamental problem. Caitlyn holds all the cards in this situation. She doesn't need Team USA. Team USA desperately needs her. Think about it. Caitlyn is already a champion. She's already broken records. She has already changed the sport forever. She's already the most marketable player in women's basketball history. What does she actually gain from playing for Team USA if they're going to disrespect her brand in the process? The Olympic glory? She can live without it. The international experience? She's already proven herself on every stage. The honor of representing her country? That honor loses its shine when the country's basketball federation treats you like you're just another replaceable part. Meanwhile, what does Team USA lose if Caitlyn refuses to play? Everything. They lose their biggest draw. They lose the one player who brings mainstream primetime attention to women's basketball. They lose the athlete who fills arenas and sends television ratings through the roof. They lose the face of the next generation. Sue Bird knows this, and that's why she's reportedly losing it behind the scenes. Because this situation exposes just how little leverage Team USA actually had. This specific controversy also serves as a stark reminder of the broader disrespect that women in sports, particularly in the WNBA, so often have to face. It ties directly into the ongoing struggles for equitable pay, for better working conditions, and for increased recognition for their incredible athletic accomplishment. When the most visible and popular star in the entire sport is treated this way, it sends a profoundly negative ripple effect throughout the entire league. It echoes the long-standing frustrations and highlights the deep-rooted systemic issues that still plague women's basketball, even despite its recent and incredible surge in popularity. The ongoing, tense discussions around the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement and the very real threat of a lockout only underscore these deep-seated problems.
Players are becoming increasingly vocal about feeling profoundly undervalued by team owners and governing bodies, citing a stark contrast between their immense contributions to the sport's growth and the respect and compensation they actually receive. So, this number change isn't just an isolated incident. It's another data point in a much larger narrative of perceived disregard for the true worth of female athletes. The players are tired of the constant, exhausting battles for basic respect. And when Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in the sport, allegedly says enough is enough, it sends a powerful message to every other player watching. You don't have to accept disrespect just because it comes from a prestigious organization. Now, it's true that Caitlin isn't the only player who wears number 20. A'ja Wilson, a phenomenal talent and respected veteran, also wears it, as do other great players like Cameron Brink. This fact has historically sparked conversations about how such high-profile players might share the number, especially in all-star game scenarios. But here's the key difference. The discussion always revolved around who would graciously defer in a situation where both players were present, never about stripping one of the game's biggest names of her signature number without any legitimate conflict. The previous year, this potential number conflict
between Clark and Wilson for an all-star spot was conveniently circumvented when Clark didn't play due to injury. This meant the hypothetical situation of them sharing or deciding on the number never fully materialized. Now, it appears USA Basketball preemptively decided to solve a problem that doesn't actually exist, pushing Clark into a new number without any apparent need for such a drastic and controversial measure. And they're learning the hard way that Caitlin isn't interested in accepting unnecessary compromises. Then, the official roster list for the USA Basketball training camp finally dropped, providing concrete, undeniable evidence of the number swap. And there it was, plain as day, Caitlin Clark, listed with number 7. So, there you have it. Team USA forced Caitlin Clark to change her number, she allegedly threatened to quit, and now Sue Bird is scrambling to fix this self-made mess. What do you think Caitlin should do? Should she walk away from Team USA or compromise on her brand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button and make sure you subscribe for more basketball drama. Trust me, this story isn't over yet. I'll see you next time.